Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Sisters. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, and a rescue cat who likes to craft in her spare time. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message to boost my serotonin and my self-esteem, and I could use both. And if you are a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for, so grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. Let me start off by saying I am sorry to a certain person who shall remain nameless. The drawer front fell off again. I swear they are haunted. I don't know. I'm gonna try and glue it back on again this week. I make no promises. I'm doing the best I can. So that's where we're at in life. And yeah. So yes. So we got some stitchy mail. I got some mail that I wanted to share because I am. So today would have been Paul's 66th birthday, and one of the things my Jeep Club does is when one of our loved ones passes, we have a tree planted in their honor. So I got the official letter from my Jeep babes that a tree has been planted in the Hiawatha National Forest in Michigan in Paul's honor, or in his memory. And then it comes with a little thing that if I plant this, it will grow flowers, and that. So I thought that was amazing. It's one of those that, like, it's an honor to receive, but you hope you never have to get one. Kind of thing. So the other thing is the office that I'm working with, he is on a mission. So every quarter we are going to do one of these run, walk, bike events together, and it's a virtual report, but we do it as a team. And so I got my first quarter medal in. We did the Giants Causeway. As a group, we did 50 miles. I did about 10 of those. And Helena did, I think, 15 or 20 of those miles as well. But she's really, it comes out, it's magnetic. It's very cool. So that will go on my medal wall. So that's very exciting. I do have some haul, but it's at the bottom of my house. So ironically, we'll be doing haul last. And that's okay. It's okay. It's my show. We can do it whatever order we want. So I am doing basically for the month of June, we are doing, I am doing a month of Paul stitching, is what I'm calling it. I picked 4 projects, each of which tied to a letter in his name. And I originally was going to just work on, like, dedicate a week to each of those. What I'm finding is I'm just rotating through the 4 of them all week, and it's working out wonderfully for my brain. And that. So, we've managed to finish off quite a few things. We're now at, let's see. I haven't colored in the Jeeps, but I have been listing them, and you'll see why. But I'm now up to 74 things done on my project list. So we're on page 2. We're on page 74. Not page 74. We're on project 74 done. We originally, the goal was 54 things by the time I turned 55. I think it was, or 55. So now I think my goal, I think I'm going to try and bump it up to do 110 things. That's 2 things per year that I've been alive. So 1 for every 6 months I've been alive. Whatever. At this point, although one of them I had counted on, I glued the door fronts on, which technically I did, but the damn thing fell off. I have tried glue gunning it and super glue. Now I've tried the Gorilla Wood glue, which has got the other one hung on, but that one didn't hang on. I've tried to screw it on from the back. There's no way to do that I can figure out. I don't know. All I know is it does drive me nuts just as much as it drives the other person nuts. So rest assured. Yeah. Okay, so what have I been stitching on? Clearly I've been crying while I've stitched. Let's go in order of spelling it out, I think. I think that will make it easier, right? So the first project I worked on is pandemic. We finished another page on pandemic. I only have 10 pages left to go. We hit the 55%, I believe. Atlas can tell us. Atlas is... Oh, the other thing, okay, so here, I'm going to be very transparent in this. And some of you may know, like, I have a habit when either I'm celebrating something or when basically, I'm an emotional eater and I'm an emotional spender and I'm an emotional ADHD crafter. Are we surprised? Right, when I admit that. That's not the admission. So usually, like, when something major would happen, I will spiral and I will start a new craft. I will start a bunch of starts. I will just go nuts, right? And I was anticipating it I was feeling that need. And I was like, okay, I can start a bunch of starts. I don't want to, and I kept talking myself out of it and talking myself back down, right? And really, honestly, I was like, nope, let's see how many Jeep, let's gung ho filling out Jeep things, right? On my Jeep tracker. And, so, I did start one new thing though. And you can all blame TikTok and several friends who have been doing this apparently for years. I bought vanilla beans from Slow Good Group, and I have them with rum, not vodka. I put them with rum because I was like, if I'm going to have a bunch of liquor left over, it might as well be something I like to drink, and I'd much rather have a Diet Coke and rum than something with vodka in it. So, I started my vanilla bean extract jar on Friday. I spent about $50 between the big bottle of rum, and I still have a bunch of rum left over. And I put all the vanilla beans in there because, like, for the ratio, that's how it worked out. So supposedly at 30 days, I'm supposed to be able to maybe use it, but ideally you wait like 6 months to a year, and you kind of shake it. So I've been doing that. So, we are okay. So back. So I got that. That was my grief craft, I guess. Sounds really bad. Okay. So we are now at. That doesn't seem right. But supposedly, according to Atlas, we're at 52.25% done on pandemic. That does not seem right. Considering we let's see here. I mean, Atlas is generally right because I keep him up to date pretty well. No, he's right. 52.25%. I have 10 more pages to go, which sounds like a lot. And then I have all of the blue because. Okay, anyways. If you want to see a better picture of it and it all out, you can check out my Instagram at His Princess Kelly. I posted, one of the kids held it up for me. So, this is where we're at. So I think, so there's 2 more pages this way to get to the edge. But I think I'm going to come down and do it. I think I am going to go diagonal. So I'm going to go back and work in here. In here. I don't know. We'll see. This is just stitched on 14 count Ada. That's why it's ginormous. It's ginormous. And it's filthy because I've been working on it since 2020. and I have dogs who have liked to at one point sleep on it. So I cannot wait to get it in a bath. I will be honest. Um, so that's where we are on that. So that did account for another one of the Jeeps being filled in. Because on something that big, on my full coverage pieces or on like the really big projects, my BAPs, I count a page finish as a finish Jeep. Okay, so that has been P. Excuse me. For A, I was going to do the animal alphabet, but that meant that Quaker flag wasn't going to get worked on as much. And I was like, wait a second. And I didn't want to, honestly, I just didn't want to go through my pile and try to find the animal alphabet sale, the bag. I'll be honest with you, that was mostly the issue. So I didn't. And my brain clicked all of a sudden. It was like, duh, Quaker flag is actually the American flag. It's supposed to be the American flag with Quaker motifs. So we are going to use A for American flag. For Paul. P-A-U-L. This is stitched on atomic ranch fabric in the colorway Sky. It's Sky. It's 18 count Ada. It's funny, I went to our Oakland County Stitchers group, and one of the ladies was saying how, Ada kind of just doesn't look, and I was like, wait a second. I'm like, Ada's got its place. I'm like, Ada, there are projects I do on Ada that look phenomenal. I would never do a full coverage on linen. That would stress me out. But I was, at that point, I was working on Lady of the Flag, and I do think that Lady of the Flag, or not a lady, I was working on Lady Justice, and I do love the even weave that I have her on. Absolutely love it, and you'll see her in a second, and you'll see it's gorgeous. But I have my friend Stephanie stitches exclusively on Ada, and her stitches are stunning. So don't let anybody. I won't let people talk bad about Ada. Ada is an amazing fabric. So here's where we are on, and we did hit the 55 percent mark on this. In talking it over with Atlas, as more of the white is coming in, it will show up. It's just not going to be in your face. Hey, that's a white square. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to keep marching along. So that's where we're at. Oh, I do love her. So that was A. So that will be my A piece. U is the next piece. U, I am stitching. It's actually, so it's funny because what was it going to do for you? I don't know. I couldn't come up, I don't think that I have an actual, I could have done the Quirky Quaker unicorn. I could have done the unicorns. Actually, I could have done the unicorn sale. Again, I'm trying to get pieces that are like right here done, and then we'll go through the pot. Like I'm just, as I finish one of my ones that are here handy that I've been working on, I'll grab a bag out of the thing, or if I need it for like a specific prompt. However, I'm doing this one. I call it the Unknown Soldier piece, and you'll see the piece why. It's actually called Dear Soldier. It's by Finally a Farm Girl. I saw it, I loved it. Stephanie is already finished hers, I believe. But front and center in the middle there is the tomb of the unknown soldier. The reason this fits even better is Paul is a veteran. Paul also was a huge history buff. So we've just hit a bunch of them. And I don't know, summer for me is always a patriotic time. And especially with the, what is it, the sesquicentennial? 250 years of America. God willing, we'll make it some more. I don't know. Democracy is kind of. Anyways, I won't. Yeah. So The only thing I have not decided is in the middle there, the TDE. Those are supposed to be the initials of your soldier. Here's my problem. I have a lot of military family. So to just put one soldier's name there or initials there, it kind of bothers me. So I may just put USA there. I don't know. Would that be weird? I mean, you can't just leave it blank. I don't know. I think I might just do USA. I'm not to that point. You'll see in a second. I am stitching this. I got the fabric as a gift, and I will be honest with you, I don't quite know who sent it to me. I don't know if this is a piece from Janet when she sent me a bunch of things, or when Stephanie hands me a stack when I see her usually. That's my guess as to who it came from, because I don't typically buy. I don't know that I've ever bought a piece of XJU designed Ada. And talking about Ada, this is, I don't remember what color it is. It's probably like parchment or something. It's 18 count XJU design Ada marbled hazelnut. So I'll be able to stitch, because that's all the way across. So I'll be able to stitch something else here, or several pieces, small pieces, which is perfect because I've got several in the queue. So that's, I have the first bar, and then I've got to go through and add the little berries on this, on the vine here. So hopefully when you see me next, at least that vine will be done, and ideally one of the flags with the bird all the way through the bird would be really cool. Here's the other thing that I'm not sure, but I should look at the pattern, I guess, more closely. She does give a lovely description when she did the pattern, explaining, I think she did. I know 13 fold stud. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. I have to wonder if, for her, the TDE, if that's when they served, because it's only 4 years, which would be one-time enlistment. So if I do USA, I'll do like the, I don't know, I guess 1776, 17 to 2026. I might just leave the years off, honestly. I might just leave the years off. But that would leave an awful lot of blank space there. I don't know. I might leave them off for now, and leave off the initials and leave off the years, and just do everything else. I can always come back and fill those in. So that is you for Paul. And this is a lovely bag that was gifted to me from Stephanie. It is by So Much to Love. So Much to Love. I love this bag. Stephanie gave it to me at my first Stitch Con, and I have loved it ever since. And I generally have put a project in there that Stephanie and I both are working on. Well, the first one was in there the summertime, and that's when I learned how to stitch on linen, or even, well, linen, at StitchCon, and she gifted me the bag. But ever since then, it's always been a Stephanie project. That said, Stephanie now makes bags, and she sells them, and she sells wonderful sweatshirts and t-shirts. She is the Crafty Chick, Steph, on Instagram and on Facebook. So please go follow her. Okay, so this is where I have been spending a lot of time. And you'll understand why when you see her, because she's at that point, numbers-wise, where my brain is like, let's get her done, let's get her done, let's get her done. And I think with just a little bit of push, maybe not the beading, but I think the stitching I will have done before the end of the month. It's only the 7th. And when you see how far along she's come, you'll know exactly why. And that is Lady Justice by Mirabilia. And I am stitching this on 32 count. Picture this plus heroic, which is one of my favorite fabrics ever. And it's perfect for these kinds of stitches. And I did a color conversion with Abby Scudder. I think that's how you say her last name. She helped me with the conversion. I will make it available. I'm getting ready to type it up to send it over to somebody now. Well, they'll probably get it tomorrow now. But her dress, except for the beads, is done. And part of, well, I shouldn't say that. She's got part of her sleeve is got to come in. Her sword is done. So I've got to finish her, and part of her face is in now. I've got her hair in the blindfold, and she's got some flowers in her on the top of her, but that's basically all of her face. Her arm holding the scale, and then her big butt bow. Atlas says I'm about at 80% when I show him the picture of the original artwork, and I show her where I'm at. The one thing that I am debating, so there's two things I'm debating. Let me fold her up a little bit so you can see better. Okay. So, in the original picture, her dress is like this teal, is greens and teal for her bow. I don't know why, but whatever. I didn't chart hers, but her original blindfold is white. And I'm wondering if I shouldn't make it like the blacks and gray, or if I should leave it white. That's question number one. Abby and I have been kicking this back and forth. Like, white means purity, white means a lot of things. We may just leave it. So I'm kind of like, maybe I should leave it white. The other thing is, I got this pattern. I got my copy actually the day that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. I started stitching her the day I got word that my application was approved to be a member of the Supreme Court of the United States. So this piece carries a lot of power for me. I am debating putting a strand of pearls. Pearls is also my sorority stone. To me, a woman, there's something about a woman, a feminine woman, powerful woman wearing a strand of pearls. So I wore pearls on my wedding day. I like pearls are my gemstone for my sorority. Every time I've needed on a big case, I make sure I'm wearing, I wear pearls to court, that kind of thing. They hold special meaning to me. I am debating, when I go to bead her, giving her a strand of pearls. Or is that going to be too much? And if so, what size pearls? What size beads do I use? I don't know. So those are my two big dilemmas. What color blindfold, and should I add a strand of pearls for her? But yeah, she's so pretty. I even took her with me last night. I ended up in the ER for my hip. It was so bad I couldn't hardly bear weight on it and everything. It took them giving me two big muscle relaxer pills, steroids, a shot of Toradol, and a shot of Dilaudid in order to get it down to where I would say it was like a level 3. I was like, at a level 3 I can handle it at home. So I have been very much babying it today, but between that and Stitchy Group yesterday is where I got a lot of the little fiddly pieces that needed to be filled in. I started working on her and her sleeve, and stuff. So, I love her. So then the question begs is, I do have Queen of the Flag, or Lady of the Flag. I have Queen of Peace, and I have Queen of Freedom. I also have I have two ladies that I designed to go on the wall with them that are similar in style. One is called, I'm going to call either Lady or Queen of Valor. And the other one doesn't have a name, but she's sort of modeled after Rosie the Riveter, if Rosie the Riveter met and became a Mirabilia queen sort of thing. Um, my grandmother was one of the original Rosie the Riveters kind of thing. During World War II, my grandmother actually painted the insides of tanks, and I think that's amazing. So, I am actually doing a conversion on Queen of Peace so that she matches the red, white, and blue. I think that is so. Right now, I'm debating. I'm actually going to do a conversion on Lady of the Flag as well. So do I stitch my own? And if I do, I think we're going to do the one of Valor. She's holding the the triangle folded flag, the 13-fold flag. That one sort of speaks to me, given Paul and trying to find his DD 214 and arranging everything. Or do I maybe work on Queen of Peace? And there's nothing that says I can't start them both. I have the fabric. I do have enough of the heroic fabric. All of my queens are going to be on heroic by Picture This Plus. I could start them all. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a conversion on Lady of the Flag. She reads a little. I don't know. I have a love-hate with her. In some ways, Lady of the Flag, like I know, she feels like one of those pieces that like. It's like every stitcher should at least try to stitch if they can get her. I don't know if I got caught up in the hype, because when I look at her, she sort of reminds me of Creepy Victorian Doll. If you took Creepy Victorian Doll and mushed her together with the Statue of Liberty, I think that's what you'd get. And I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. That's to say, I do love her. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think I bought her before she got re-released, okay? And I think I got caught up in some of the hype of her being so elusive, right? Versus, oh my God, I really want to stitch that. Now that said, I have come to a scenario where I am not going to stitch her as she is charted. I am making, in my brain, when I stitch her, I know that there's a teal conversion, so she looks a little bit more like the patina, the copper patina of Statue of Liberty. I am going to switch her, and I'm going to switch out her flag. I am not telling people what I'm stitching her flag as. I think well, I shouldn't say that. There are, I think, a couple people that know, but it's not going to be a USA flag. And then I am doing a color conversion that I found as well. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. Yes. So this is the Queen of Peace version that I will be doing. Although, in looking at the colors, they're actually charted her dress in black, which I'm going to switch it out to, I think it's black and blue. I've got to pull the threads that they've done the conversion to and see, but I will be stitching it more in like a navy blue, like the flag, the U.S. flag. Queen of Freedom is already, she's holding the flag. She reminds me of Betsy Ross, like that she's draped with the flag. So I don't know. So I'm not sure once I get Lady Justice done if I will do, or maybe I will start Queen of Peace with Stephanie, because I think Stephanie's going to do the same conversion, and do my Queen of Valor or Lady of Valor at the same time. I told Stephanie that I'd let her stitch Queen of Valor as well, or Lady of Valor, but only after I stitched her, because I want to make sure she's the way she needs to be before I let somebody else stitch her. And then I will release, once Stephanie and I kind of, I guess once we do the model stitches and the test and the guinea pigs, um, yeah, I'll let other people see her as well. I can show you the. I guess if I have it, I don't know. I know that I've talked about it. Um, but I don't know that I've showed her what she will look like. Um, I know I put away my menorah. I will bring out Peace and Light soon. There's an air in it, and until I can wrap my brain around the air and fixing the air, I can't. I don't have the brain power. Okay, so there is my Lady of Valor that I have charted out. And yes, I am very transparent. I used AI to help me with her. I am not an artist in that sense, but so if you don't like AI art, I'm sorry. You don't have to buy her. You don't have to stitch her with me. Um, so I think, and this is the original coloring of Queen of Peace. She's beautiful, and I was going to stitch her anyways, but I think for my wall and what I want, I like the red, white, and blue better for her. This is how. Okay, so here's Lady Justice, and this is what I'm talking about. See how her blindfold is white? Um, that's what I'm debating. It should stay white or if it should stay black. And now that I'm looking at it, I think I am going to keep it white. Um, I think the contrast will be good. Actually, now that I'm sorry. Now that we're looking at her. So, as you can tell, I have the big blue bow here and the scales, and then the top of her head, and I really don't have that much to do, and she's got very little back stitching on her, thank God. Um, so yeah, so that is kind of where we're headed. Um, when Quaker Flag is done, that's when we'll start One Nation. Um, Pandemic's not going to get done this year. I've got all the blue to do. That's my goal for 2027, is to have all the blue done by then. But I would like to have all the tan done on Pandemic. So the other thing is the kids and I, so funny. My kids are so funny. Um, Paul's body is back from being cremated. Um, and so we were discussing urns. And on TikTok, a funeral director showed this ginormous urn, and it's a D20, which is a dice, a 20-sided dice, right? And those of you who know about my ex-husband know that he was a big Dungeons and Dragons gamer, and that is like the perfect urn for him. And my kids, I was like, I don't know if my kids are going to find that as funny as I do or as perfect as I do. So I saved it, but I didn't send it to either kid, right? Bella sent it to me, and she's like, well, now Dad could be part of our games for the rest of, and I sent, and so I was like, okay, I didn't want to send that to you. I didn't know if you would find the humor in it, but I do think it's actually quite perfect. Um, and then now William has decided that yes, that's absolutely the way. So the problem is that urn is $500. That is the cheapest I can find it. That looks like the D20 and not just like a cheaply put together one. Is about $500. Um, so yeah, that's what we'll be working on and saving towards next. Which means that putting together that it will all happen, right? When it needs to happen. But that may mean that me having a down payment on an actual house, or that may get put off a month or two, so that my kids can bear their dad in a way that they want. and that he deserves. So, again, it's okay. It's all going to happen. Um, I'm excited that they found something that they both feel is perfect, right? Um, so yeah, so we've just been kind of muddling through. I have court tomorrow. I have court on Tuesday. I think we're pretty close to settling my one crazy ass case. Um, and please keep praying that we did. Um, and we're just gonna keep plugging along because that's what we do. Um, yeah. So with that, I'm gonna let you go. I will see you. Survivor's over. We don't have anything till the fall. I don't know when Dancing with the Stars starts up. But I'll probably leave that in the group. um, the thought of having that many whips going on at once, though, is just. So I will probably do some, like a much more modified version where I'm not pulling out 27 pieces a week. Like, that just. Um, so, yeah. I don't know. Um, I'm hoping to get to the post office as well. I got a bunch of shit to mail out. I went through our medicines and got rid of a bunch of expired things, but they have to go over to the drop-off center. So I'm hoping to get that done and drop off a bunch of stuff to Habitat for Humanity. I still can't find the battery to my lawnmower, so if anybody knows where the hell that is, let me know. We're just kind of muddling through. I've had several people say that, message me even on Facebook and stuff, or text me, and say that I've made all of this look easy. All of this with Paul look easy these last several months. And that's mind-boggling to me because it has been anything but. I've tried to be transparent with everybody. We've shared out a lot of feelings. Didn't share out everything. But make no mistake, it's not been easy. It has brought up a lot of things that I thought I dealt with. A lot of feelings that I thought I had dealt with that I hadn't. Or at least not fully. It has, for the time being, devastated me financially because I didn't work as many hours. And so, things are tight. I'm exhausted. I'm worried about my kids. I think that's the biggest one. I'm worried that they're processing it off. And how they're processing it. And I just, have to stand back and be hands off to some degree. I mean, they're 25. And yet, close enough that when they're falling, that I can catch them. And that's difficult when I'm hanging on by a string some days. So, some days I have great days and I'm super productive. Like Friday, holy shit, I don't know where my ADHD went. I drafted like 30 pages of documents that day alone, plus answered calls and did a bunch of other stuff. Um, and then there's been other days where it's all I can do to not cry all day. And that's grief. That's what that is, right? Um, where at least I'm getting up and I'm showering. And thanks to Kim, I have silverware and I'm not fighting over that. Um, I have groceries in the house, healthy foods to eat. I have some junk food to eat too. Um, my A1C, my blood sugar has stayed in a pretty good range. It's not, going crazy. It's actually coming down since the last 3-month check that I've had. So that's amazing news with all of that. Even with getting the steroids last night, we're still good. If anything, I have more times where I'm too low now than I am high, which means that we've had to back off some of the meds, which has been great. That's what we want. We just today was a little hard. It was Paul's birthday. Um, Father's Day is coming up. That's going to be difficult. It's all those first, right? Um, so we're just managing. I'm human. I'm no superhero. I'm no inspiration to anybody. I'm just one foot in front of the other and trying to make this world a little bit better. And I did go back to writing my thank you notes, my 365 days of thank you notes. I'm going to get caught up on those. Um, they make a difference. I sent one out tonight to my neighbor who's been just absolutely wonderful. I replaced her cigarette lighter because I bought William a little charcoal grill because that's what he really wanted. And I thought, with everything else, all right, great. So I spent the money. It was like $60. And I bought him the grill, but I forgot to buy a cigarette lighter or a lighter for it. So we've been borrowing the neighbors. And so I bought them a new one. And I sent him a little thank you note that says, just thank you for being such great neighbors and being so sweet and kind and being there. And my neighbor, she texted me and she's like, I'm bawling. She's like, you guys are great neighbors to us. Are you kidding me? She's like, you looked out for us when we first moved in. You told us like all these things to watch for, like stores. They moved up from Georgia. So like, getting cold clothes, how to deal with the cold weather and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm grateful for having good neighbors, and I'm glad I'm a good neighbor to you because I know like look, my house doesn't look great from the outside either. I'm not like Miss Gardner. I wish I had a green thumb, right? I wish I had all this energy so that I could go out and I have the paint to paint the outside of the place. I don't have the energy to do it. I haven't had the time to do it. It's just so I'm grateful. So obviously those make an impact. The other thing I'm working on is getting just a bunch of thinking of you notes because another lawyer recommended that what she does when she's really pissed off, like when she gets out of court and she's pissed off, or excuse me, she gets off the phone with somebody, she's just livid, right? We all have those times. She writes a thinking of you note to another friend. She'll just randomly pick a person out of her Rolodex, she says. And she sends them a little thinking you note. And that's kind of how she shifts her brain. And I thought, that's bloody brilliant. That's just freaking brilliant. So I am going to get some thinking of you cards too. So just generic thinking of you cards. I got to get some more stamps. And I'm going back to doing those kinds of things. I don't want to live in a world where I am grumpy or depressed. If I shouldn't say it that way, that sounds horrible, right? Like some people are just depressed. Depression is a medical condition. I'm I don't consider the way I feel. I don't want to feel like I'm in a funk, right? If there's little things I can do to help stay out of the bog of darkness or the bog of stench, if you've ever watched, what is it, the never-ending story, the bog of stench or the bog of despair. Like, I don't want to, or is it Framework? I don't know, whatever, one of those shows from like back in the day. I don't want to wallow in that if I can help it. If there's little tricks that I can do, like sending out a thinking of you note or something, or happiness mail, happy mail, as Janet calls it, then it's worth the stamp. It's worth doing that, and um, I'm gonna start doing it. But I'm gonna do it, like I said, I think when I'm in that, not necessarily in a rage, but maybe when I'm just feeling super low, maybe that's the time too that I send out the little reaching out card. Maybe that's what I do. So I'm gonna get some cards there. We're gonna keep pushing away at projects and getting the house back under control. We are getting there. As far as the one thing that I have unresolved that I have not come to terms with yet is Paul's football quilt, and how do I finish it for him? And I don't know. And I don't have to know, is the answer that I've come up with in the last few days. Is I don't have to know. I don't have to know. So I am going to put it back in its box with its instructions, and I'm going to table it. And that's okay for now. And when the answer comes, the answer comes. And that's okay. And maybe it never comes, and maybe it just sits there. And that's okay too, at this point. So, with that said, I'm going to let you go because it's now 10 o'clock at night. And I have to be up early for trial, for a hearing. It's not a trial. But I've got some trial prep to work on and some other things, and hopefully, so I'm going to let you go. If there is anything I can do, even if it's just listening, running past an idea, please reach out to me and I will see what I can do. And with that said, remember, you are smart and you are beautiful. You are strong and brave, and you are loved. You are needed, and you are wanted, and mostly, you matter. So with that, I love you all, and I will see you next week. Do, 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 do.